Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I know that for some it's holiday time. Um, my name is Irina Stoican. I am a marketing manager for Fineamin, a Swiss manufacturer for filming amines based products, chemicals for industrial water treatment. In our previous sessions, we've been discussing about filming amines in boilers, and it was more on the technical side, more on their capabilities. And today we will be discussing some real-world case studies with our colleague Walaa Farghaly. She's our distributor for the Egyptian market. She's been our partner for more than 10 years. So I will let her speak more about herself and about Fineamin.
Yeah, hello. Let's share the screen first. Okay. It's my pleasure being with you and sharing some of my experience working with Fineamin team. Actually, in this webinar, I will go for some case studies, but first, let me introduce myself. I'm Walaa Farghaly. I'm a chemical engineer, have master science for chemical engineering in water treatment, and I'm an MBE holder. Actually, I represent the managing director for Watermark, which is the local distributor for Fineamin chemicals here in Egypt. Yeah, if you may, we can go and start directly. In our webinar session, we will go for these topics in the agenda. It's a brief introduction about the Fineamin and the treatment philosophy of the filming amine and how it works. And lucky to share some case studies we have here in the Egyptian market. We were lucky to have some photos and go closer to see this filming amine in many case studies. The first one after 4 years, and second one was opened after 2 years. Another one for after 1 year, and we will show different data through our case studies. After that, we can wrap up with an actual cost-saving calculation with one of our clients and share the actual numbers and data. Just a second, we can stop the video just to have a smooth connection. As you know, that Fineamin is a Swiss company. It's actually based in Geneva, and they have experience with the filming amine treatment for over than 50 years with experience and handling most demanding customer worldwide. And we here represent Fineamin through Watermark in the Egyptian market. And after we can go just brief for the filming amine and what is Fineamin chemicals or products. Simply, it's a program used to treat the boiler system, one of the applications handled by Fineamin. Actually, we can say that it's an all-organic special blend of chemicals combination of surface active filming amines, polyamines actually, and neutralizing amine, polymeric dispersant, and sometimes with oxide scavenger in some products. Also, this combination provide us with very nice filming amine, which is more thin and coherent to the surface of the metal, better than the traditional treatment, and actually it gives full protection or treatment for the cycle or the complete system of the steam production system, not only inside the boiler, but for the whole system, even for the condensate. And we can see this through our case studies while we go forward in our presentation. And also it's a environment-friendly product and biodegradable chemical. So it was highly recommended to replace other carcinogenic products through this the Egyptian market actually, and we will go for the case studies. I will not go deeper for some technicals, and we can refer back to the previous webinar with Mustafa, with more technical details about how it works and the mechanism. All the technical information, you can find it in the previous webinars. And now we can jump directly to the first case study. It's a fertilizer industry. This plant was working for 4 years with Fineamin. Actually, it worked for, they didn't go for a shutdown during these 4 years. It's their first shutdown, which they were surprising that they didn't go for this long period of time while when shafted with Fineamin. This was one of the boilers. They have many boilers, but we will share the data was of one of them. It's for the sulfuric plant uh, factory in this fertilizer, which is critical actually boiler because it's handled with a lot of exchange with high pressure and high temperature for the sulfuric acid production. It's fire tube waste heat boiler, 15 ton per hour, and operates with 44 bar, and they use demi water for their makeup. Actually, this customer have some challenges, which is they used in their previous treatment hydrazine and phosphate. While they using this treatment, they faced some problems during their unscheduled shutdowns. That's why it was the highlight of this case study that they usually go for shutdown to remove the scales build up on the tubes and also on the turbines. So they were forced to go for shutdowns for several times. Also, they use severe blowdown to adjust the TDS because they add more from trisodium phosphate, which make them open the blowdown more. So we went and presented Fineamin technology, and we was targeting some of these goals to increase the turbine efficiency and make less scale buildup on the turbine and decrease the blowdown rate, which will follow this, saving the total cost of the operation when all these problems stop. Actually, they removed all the treatment, and we used one injection point after the deaerator with Fineamin product, which is the usual recommendation to use Fineamin product. And these are some results or water analysis results before with the older treatment with phosphate and hydrazine and with Fineamin. The first column was for the boiler feed water before using Fineamin, actually, and after Fineamin with the blowdown. If you can see the results, you can see the difference, a change in the TDS or the conductivity with and without using Fineamin. So this make a huge saving for the water. They don't have to open the blowdown as they used to do. Also, you can see that the iron level decreased as well. We can see some photos from the shutdown. This can give you a close look for the filming amine and the hydrophobicity of this layer, and how the drops of water are not wetting the surface of the pipes. And these are also videos. You can see how the drops slides directly. In fact, this helps much for not accumulating more scales. Yes, and we can go for the second case study. It's also a fertilizer plant. Actually, it's a sister company having almost similar boiler, which is shifted to use Fineamin after 1 year from the first one, but it was opened after 2 years. And here are more data analysis for the pH and how it's controlled and always within the limits from 8 to 9. This is for the boiler feed water, and you can see also for the blowdown the trend. This for 18 months of treatment with Fineamin. And here is the pH of the condensate also, which is in the much better preferable range for the pH of the condensate. And these are another screenshots or photos, let's say, from the tubes from this boiler after 2 years. And you can see how smooth is the layer formed. And this is a video showing how the layer of the filming amine is consistent, uniform, and cover all the tube surface. Yes. And we can go now for another case study. It's a food factory. For Fineamin, they have also products that could be used for with NSF and FDA approved for some factories. And these are the boiler data. It's fire tube, 3 ton per hour and 12 bar. And actually, they use soft water for this boiler. For this one, we have a different challenge that they have frequent scale in the boiler, but the iron level in the boiler is very high. They always find that the water color is reddish inside the boiler, so they used to empty the boiler from the water and refill it again. So they frequently go for chemical cleaning sometimes in order to keep their boiler operating. Actually, their previous treatment was sulfite and trisodium phosphate, so they felt that uncontrolled for their boiler. When we started Fineamin, they can fill the online cleaning because they quit frequent chemical cleaning they used to do it when they shifted with Fineamin. Also, the corrosion rate and the scale almost decreased, and you can see this through the iron residual measured from the blowdown graph. This was significant. يعني can you see the change from the iron level? It's decreased. Actually, this results for 1 year. So the iron level decreased, and the color of the water inside the boiler also was nude. It's clear, no reddish color anymore. So they are happy now, and the boiler is operating normally. No critical shutdowns and no refill. Normal operation. And the last one for the case study, it's a pharmaceutical factory. Actually, after 3 months of operation with Fineamin, they have a mechanical shutdown. So we were lucky to see this film after 3 months because usually it's not easy to have a look after 3 months. So they were curious to see how it went after a short term of treatment, 3 months just with Fineamin. It's 2.8 ton per hour. It's fire tube boiler, Forbes Marshall boiler with pressure 8 bar, and also they use soft water. So Fineamin is also used with soft water. Uh, of course, they have different, let's say, problem here, which is pH of the condensate is always very low. An iron level in the boiler also was slightly high, and they open the blowdown very often to control the TDS or the conductivity limit in the boiler because they use sulfite and trisodium phosphate as well. So these are the results after using Fineamin. If you see before this red line, it's before with sulfite and phosphate treatment. The iron level is very high, and actually when we shifted to Fineamin, it goes down and still steady during these 3 months. These are the condensate pH. Actually, we don't have a record for the condensate pH before using Fineamin, so we started the treatment earlier in February 2025. So these are the trend for the pH in the condensate. And after they were rarely find pH over than 7.7 and 8, now were operating between 8.2 and 9.5 for the condensate pH. These are also photos. It's an old boiler, and the online cleaning of filming amine is removing all the old deposit scales from the boiler. Let's wrap up this with some talk about how this reflects on money and actual cost saving with Fineamin. In fact, this is a complex of fertilizer company related to the case number 1 and case number 2 and some another boiler. These 3 boilers are fire tube boiler, waste heat boilers. Actually, the total sum of steam production is 120 ton per hour, and pressure ranges from 45 to 60 bar. They use demi water, and in this complex, we calculated the percentage save of the blowdown. Actually, the blowdown decreased in these boilers from 10 meter cube per hour to 4 meter cube per hour, shifting from hydrazine phosphate treatment to Fineamin treatment, which reflected directly on the cost. On the other side, they calculated annual cost of the chemical consumption beside the cost of the saving or the water used from the cost of the demi water, and we find it's 4.7 million EGB with hydrazine and phosphate, and with Fineamin it's 2.3 million EGB, the cost of the treatment chemicals plus the demi water. Which means with Fineamin, they made saving with 2.4 million EGB, which is equivalent to 120,000 dollar per year. So this were proof from one of our clients that this reflects directly on cost saving with the saving of water reflects directly into saving with money, not only just comparing price to price with the unit chemical used, but it's a complete treatment program. And thank you for listening, and I'm ready to have any questions and to answer it. I hope I covered some information, show you some photos and from boilers. Yeah, Irina.
Thank you so much, Walaa.
Thank you.
It was a very nice presentation. If there are any questions. There is a question in the chat, Walaa.
Okay. Did you make any transition program before switching to Fineamin? Actually, no, we in these conditions, we just stopped the dose gradually before we shifting to Fineamin, especially for hydrazine and phosphate. We stopped the dosing 1 day before and directly replaced the treatment with Fineamin, because they use more than one dosing point and one product. So we stopped them, but we waited for like 2 weeks, maybe sometimes more or less, to get rid of the phosphate from the boiler. And we can measure this during our treatment with Fineamin till it vanished from the system, and we are sure that there is no phosphate in the system and everything went smoothly. No problem for this, no specific, let's say, preparation just to shift from the old treatment to Fineamin. It went very smoothly with them. That's all what happened. There is another question. Did you find there was a lot of scale and the price that got released from the tubes and condensate system once you started the Fineamin program? Let's say it depends on the condition of the boiler. Some boiler, old boiler, let's say, with bad condition, with suffering from scale and having a lot of scale inside the boiler, actually it's not, it doesn't go as a bulk, and you can find it get better just with continuous treatment. And we can see this on the long term. Especially at the beginning, we start the dosing of Fineamin, and you keep the blow down for getting rid of old scale or something like this relative to the analysis. And after you find everything out of the system gradually, and you go for better or you close the blow down more often and go for lower level of blow down. Also, it depends on the operation of for each one, for each case. But no, we don't find bulk of, let's say, of whatever scale or something like this. Maybe sometimes for iron, it goes up at the beginning of shifting. Only the iron, especially if you have some let's say corrosion from the previous treatment, the iron level just goes up for a certain period, like peaks, and then it goes down. And once you get rid of all the old iron deposits or corrosion, and you when go for the normal low level of the iron, it doesn't go back up again. But you have to give it time. It depends on the condition of the boiler. We have another question. Good morning. In case of a study, how does Fineamin interact with carbonates? Actually, I don't find I didn't face such condition. Maybe Mustafa can share if he's can join us if he can answer this question. How does Fineamin interact with carbonates? Because I didn't face this case with my customer.
Let me try to understand by this question. Hello, everyone. This is Mustafa, by the way. So what exactly you mean interaction with the carbonates? Means you are talking about some kind of a leakage from the softener, because the carbonate is primarily coming, anything is coming, let's say, from the feed water source. Do you mean this? Or, does it referring to the hardness, or you're referring to the alkalinity or something? But again, it has been coming from the feed water specs itself. Or if you mean the effect of the Fineamin with the carbonates, means the carbonic acid formation in the condensate lines. As we said, that the Fineamin program is not just based on film forming amines. It is a special blend that has different mixtures of neutralizing amines also involved in the program itself. Hence, for the carbonic acid formation, definitely neutralizing amines will make the neutralization, if this is the question.
Thank you, Mustafa, for sharing this. Another one, where you dose the chemical and measure the residual. Actually, normally we dose after the deaerator. in most of the cases, unless we have a certain case or condition that there are another point like degasifier or something like this in petrochemicals in the system. In such case, maybe we dose another point for this degasifier. Usually, we measure the residual of the polyamine in the boiler blowdown, just as an indication that we have an excess of this polyamine or the residual, for making sure that the dosing in the appropriate quantity, actually.
Let me interfere again. This is
Yes.
exactly correct, but at the same time, definitely we would like to measure film forming amine residual qualitatively, as well as said, mostly in the boiler water to understand that there's really an excess. However, quantitatively, we can also ensure that the residual by taking the sample from pure condensate return, because anything in the condensate return in the steam is coming from the boiler, water treatment, chemical system, etc. So, which means that if there is enough residual in condensate return, pure condensate return, so that indicates that I would say it is good enough. However, in such program, we never and ever just rely on one parameter like the normal treatment concept. We are also measuring the pH, we are measuring the iron, other parameters, as well as polyamine or film-forming amine residual excess. And then we make the interpretation on the combined way. So not only specifically only one parameter, that is FFA residual. So we also keep it in certain parameters. And again, depending on the system, if we have some systems with this famous, again, cationic conductivity issues that we don't want to really go more than some levels, then we provided that the other parameters, everything is okay, we may keep film forming amine residual at a lower level. But in case it is not, so we can go to also slightly higher level. Again, everything will be decided, discussed, and evaluated on a complete scheme, not just based on film forming amine residual.
Regarding the carbonates question, we have noticed that in cases of equipment without chemical treatment, sludge forms and we remove it with purges. But I wanted to know if the interaction with Fineamin could generate it.
Well, again, if you need a surgery, you need to have a surgery. The pills will help you to an extent. So we always say that, for the boiler treatment understanding and also for any water treatment, first of all, the pre-treatment system should work efficiently. So the chemicals can help to an extent the upsets coming from the pre-treatment. But if, for example, you don't have any softener and you have a malfunctioning softener, and then you would like to feed that type of problematic water to a boiler, and then you expect that the chemical treatment, whether it's Fineamin or any other, will solve it. No, it will not. However, definitely for an acceptable slight levels of the let's say hardness leakages, so on and so forth. Again, we have two advantages from the Fineamin chemical drum. The first one is the film forming amine themselves, because they will be acting as also like a dispersive characteristics, as a dispersant way, because they are like less like surfactant molecules, like micelles with hydrophilic head with hydrophobic tail, so on and so forth. Additionally, our treatment programs formulated up to 120 bar. The product contains additional high stress dispersant. So that is also helping to remove things through blowdown and keep something dispersed. But again, we should be ensuring that the softener or the pre-treatment system of the plant is working efficiently and correctly. So that's the bottom line.
Okay, there is another question in the frequently asked questions. What is the feed rate?
Okay. I don't know if he is asking for a specific for one of the case studies, but usually it depends on the system, on the analysis, on the product recommended from Fineamin, because Fineamin is more than one product. It's not and only one any series of products, like more than one product. So it depends which one you use, because for in the case studies, in one site we use chemical, for the food industry we use different one, and the dosing change from one to another. Of course, you can send your data to Fineamin, and they can reply with the perfect product or the good selected product and the suitable dose for your condition.
That is good answer. Let me rephrase it in this way. Based on the system, the feed water type, the condensate return rate, we can select the product and select its dosages. So it is, as Walaa said, we are not talking about one product only, and we are not talking also one condition. So either way, we just go through and have the survey data, and then based on this, we do recommend the correct product with suggested dosage and fine-tuning based how to fine-tune with respect to analysis results.
Okay, there is another question. Hello, good day. How did you regulate the dosage to avoid an overdose? For example, in the first case, how was the dosage structured? Automatic with feed?
Yes. Okay. Again, it will start from the condition of the boiler. I will just go for the first case study he asked for. They were suffering from a lot of scale, actually. So at the beginning, we added a little bit more dose to make the system saturated with the product, with Fineamin product. And after, at that time, we usually open the blowdown on the same rate they used before shifting to Fineamin, which is more than required with Fineamin treatment to get rid of all the phosphate residual from the older treatment, because we didn't make a sharp change or sharp shift from the older treatment. So in the first period, we dose more to compensate the blowdown getting out of the system. Also, this could be monitored through the residual of the polyamine range. I usually, if I can support Mustafa with what he illustrated for the measuring the residual, as if we measure the oxygen scavenger, we just want to have an indication that there is excess of this product to make sure that there is no oxygen. For here, same concept applies for the residual polyamine. Just we keep in a certain range at the beginning, and after, like we can say, like maximum 1 month, but also it depends on the system condition, and everything goes to the, let's say, theoretical condition that should work on normal blowdown, which is less than they used to have with the other treatment. And also the dose goes and it decreases with time. Actually, we find that with this client work for long term. We have clients for 6 years using Fineamin, and now they are using a little bit less in the product dosage than they used when they started, but not too much. But the system is well saturated, the tubes are well covered, and there is no risk, and everything is controlled. And at that time, we can go a little bit lower, and if we have the same condition, everything is controlled, we can decrease a little bit the dose. But regarding the overdose, I think what I let's say faced, if this happened, we we usually don't dose more, but if this happened, Mustafa and also Fineamin technical people say that overdosing could be noticed with like products يعني in yeah, Mustafa,
Well,
if you
let me extrapolate the question if I understand from a different perspective. So, if the question is about generally if you overdose and there is always a concern about this something called gunk formation or kind of a polymerization of some kind of a polymeric structure that will be happening. The good news is in our general product formulation we are not using octadecilamine, again with no offense. Ectodecilamine is known as one of the fin-forming amines dated 1970s. So, but definitely, if you compare octodecilamine with the other type of fin-forming amines, so octodecilamines are considered like monoamines, so they have much more. I would call they are more prone to make gang formation when they are overdosed. So this is the first thing. So we are, in terms of the formulation and the content of our product, it is much less likely. Of course, still we don't want to really overdose the product. Now, how we can really go through about the check and so on and so forth. So normally at the pure condensate return rate, we are keeping the film forming amine excess. Again, with no offense to anyone about the pronunciation, I say amine, polyamine, film forming amine. Some other people say polyamine, film forming amine. We are all talking about the same things, by the way. So film forming amine excess in the pure condensate return should be normally in our cases between 0.2 to 1.5 ppm. So, and at the same time, the pH of the pure condensate, we are keeping it around 9. So, in those circumstances, there is no possibility if you measure it, all these things, I would say, in correlation with the other, let's say, water parameters, besides the pH and fin-forming amine like iron, the metals, conductivity, so on and so forth. So we don't expect that this type of overdosing and gang formation happens. So it is unlikely. It will be still remain in the control, I would say. And then there should not be any varying point for gang formation. Now, also, in order to really see a gang formation in the system, that overdose should go really for a relatively longer period of time. So just for overdosing, I would say a couple days, a week, and so on and so forth, we should not expect the formation of the gang, even if it is an overdose. Of course, we don't say to overdose, but it is not easy that for that problem to happen, to occur as a gang formation. Okay.
I hope يعني we got your question and answered what exactly you are looking for. If anyone want to ask about anything about the presentation. Of course, we are here. يعني whenever you have a question, you can share through the emails.
So, any other questions?
Yeah. So thank you for having me and listening to this presentation. I hope it help you applying Fineamin to your clients. Yes, thank you, Irina, and thank you, Mustafa, for supporting.
Thank you so much, Walaa.
Thank you, Walaa, and thank you for the attendees. And again, please do not hesitate to contact us for any specific question regarding our technologies, the
There is a
production.
question: can a copy be released? We will upload the video on our website, and we will send an email with the link. If this was This was the question.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and see you in September for other webinars.
Thank
Okay.
you. Looking
Walaa,
forward.
thank you, Seva.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.